But in this video, I want to talk about the 3 shocking things that men actually want from women. And this is in no particular order, but I wanted to give you some value and just, again, to express my appreciation for Guyology seekers, just, provide a few things that I've, again, learned along the way. And the one thing that men actually respect and they really desire from women is for them to have a strong boundary. So if you think about it from the perspective of a man, as a woman, if there is a woman, another woman that you truly admire, that you value, and you have a deep admiration and respect for, a man desires for you to have that same admiration, value, and respect for yourself. Because the reality is this: if we don't respect ourselves, we can't expect other people to respect us, because we train people how to actually treat us. And so when we respect ourselves, we train them how to treat us as well. And I often heard one person say it this way: they have what's called a red velvet rope policy. And in the mind of a man, when you have a strong boundary and you have a red velvet rope policy, that lets him know that in his mind, nobody's been behind that red velvet rope. And if they have, they at least were VIP status. But in his mind, he would rather that nobody else outside of him have been behind your red velvet rope. But when you have a red velvet rope, it actually detracts a lot of people that are just playing games and have low expectations, and people that are going to waste your time, and eventually it's going to end in some kind of regret. But having a very strong boundary and sticking to it is something that men actually desire, because when men, especially high quality men, when they deal with a woman that have the appearance of a boundary, but then he try to test it and she gives in, he's actually disappointed. Because in his mind, he's thinking, man, she's probably letting so many people behind this red velvet rope. There's nothing VIP about when you get behind it. Because a man wants to know that he's special, that he's unique, and that, nobody else can have what he have. And so when you have a red velvet rope, when you have a strong boundary and you stick to it, when a man finally does go behind that red velvet rope, he appreciates it a lot more, because he feels as though this is something that was sacred to you, and very few people you let behind this space, and he feels special to be one of them. Now, the second thing that men really desire from a woman is he actually wants that woman to be desired by other men. Now, let me explain this. It's not like he wants her to just go out and date other men and, sexually be with other men or anything like that. But we live in a society where a lot of the decisions that we make, if we're honest, they're influenced by social proof. And when a man is with a woman that other men deem as attractive, then to that man in his mind, she's socially acceptable and she's social proof that I'm with somebody who's attractive. Now again, he doesn't want you to go out and date other men or things like that, but it just makes him feel good as a man to know that he's with somebody that all of these other people desire, but it's his, and not from a perspective of property, but in terms of the respect of your heart, your honor as a woman, the things that you truly value, that you decide and you chose to give that to him, that makes him feel special. And that's something that a man, he deeply desires, but very few men would tell you that, because they don't really know how to communicate that from the perspective of them saying it and welcoming other men into your life. They don't want that, because they don't want that kind of competition. They don't want that kind of relationship if they're quality men. But when you are somebody who are desired by other men, that actually makes you more attractive in the eyes of the men that you're with. And I'll say this, one way to actually become more attractive, not just to other men, but to yourself, is by having self-care and doing those small things that make you feel good. Because sometimes we often, and I'm guilty of this, I've been guilty of this as well, we often do things that we think other people are going to find pleasurable or desirable in what we do. But a lot of times we fail to do things that are just for us, meaning that if nobody else sees it, nobody else recognizes it, we still feel great about it. And it's like when you do things from that perspective and you do something that you feel great about, and you feel good about that, sometimes that within itself is an attraction that sometimes you can't even explain, and people don't even know why they're even drawn or attracted to you, but they're just attracted to something instinctively that you possess that a lot of people don't. Now, the third thing is verbal affirmation. A lot of times men really deeply desire verbal affirmation, and so often they go to the wrong source to get it. But verbal affirmation is actually something that a man desires and he actually needs to receive from a woman. And when a man receives verbal affirmation, this kind of gives him a sense of love and appreciation that he deeply desires. And I'll say this, fortunately or unfortunately, however you want to look at it, a lot of times men, they don't really know how to verbally affirm a woman or verbally affirm anybody. And so a lot of times it's a woman who actually demonstrates verbal affirmation to that man. Number one, it makes him feel great, but it also shows him how to return the favor and how to do it, because when he sees it done, he's very confident on how to do it, because if nothing else, he knows that how you gave him this verbal affirmation is how you like it yourself. And so those three things are things that men really deeply desire from a woman. And if you wouldn't mind, I would love to hear in the comments below at least one of those things that you've seen in terms of your interaction with men and what they actually use. Now, I do want to say, again, those that support Guyology Secrets, thank you so much. Please go to guyologysecrets.com and just check out the program and let me know what you think. But comment below on, out of these three, which one have you seen most common?